This week on C Plus News Time, it's the most wonderful time of the year. TCA season. The Television Critics Association conference meeting thing took place over the past 2 weeks. Along with the seedy underbelly business dealings that happen at these events, came a handful of new shows. From NBC to Hulu, Comedy Central to IFC, we've got every bit of the comedy sides of the news of the conference. Get ready for a second annual old-fashioned TCA roundup. You spin me right round, baby. Right round. Like C Plus News Time, baby. Right round, round, round.
It's C Plus News Time. Delivering to you the news you didn't know about, the news you didn't care about, and the news you didn't know you cared about. With host, Chad White. Now, here's that host, Chad White.
Dogs and I are pretty much the same in that when someone leaves out the front door, I think they're gone forever, and I'm always humping things. Welcome back to C Plus News Time. I'm your host, Chad White, and this is the comedy news they didn't know about for the week of January 16th, 2017. The Television Critics Association meets twice a year to discuss the medium's upcoming slate of shows. Mostly everyone took part, though there was some scare since pretty much all of the heavy hitters dropped out in November and then decided to come back a few days later. Save for Netflix, of course. The TV ended up with 454 scripted shows last year. 454. Can you believe it? And you just binged through all of them, didn't you? Do you even remember what happened in the second season of Unbreakable Kimmy Schmidt? Because I got 2 episodes in and had to let that one go. Oddly enough, there were not many new shows announced during this winter session, but who am I to complain, really? And it's all over now, so we've got a packed episode. Let's get right to it. Starting with broadcast, ABC's long-gestating Downward Dog is said to not be completely about the dog. If you missed this bit of news from last year, Downward Dog is ABC's new talking dog show, joining Disney dog mainstay Dog with a Blog, but Downward Dog is said to get away from the stereotype of talking dog shows, which is that they suck. But this one, according to its trailer at least, looks a lot more mature. Co-creator Sam Hodges told reporters that this show actually has a strong narrative, but sadly, though, it looks as if this show is yet to be scheduled for a mid-season premiere. The same can be said for the other 2 comedies joining the network, Imaginary Mary and Time After Time, both of which I spoke on in the last TCA special. Next up for Fox, The Mick has been picked up for 4 more episodes. The Caitlin Olsen-led comedy will now have a total of 17 episodes, thanks to the solid ratings and decent reception. I reviewed it on cpluscomedy.com, where you can get all of your latest comedy stuff, and found it funny as well. Olsen did mention at the Mick panel that this show and Always Sunny in Philadelphia would never, quote, butt up against each other. So that's good. That's it for that channel, at least. For CBS, its shows are performing and all that, but it looks like their heavy hitter Big Bang Theory has yet to be renewed. Now, of course, it's gonna get a renewal. It's just a matter of when. CBS Entertainment President Glenn Geller told Deadline, quote, it's business as usual for negotiations. With the highest grossing and paid show on TV, they know what they're getting into. NBC, of course, bringing back Will and Grace, so there's that. And now the network is pimping out the new DC comedy show Powerless that's somehow connected to either the DC movie or DC TV show universe. We don't know. But it takes place at Wayne Industries. That show premieres in February. And their last new comedy show is Trial and Error, which is revealed to be a new comedy anthology series. Each session will feature a new case and presumably cast, but this season will feature the likes of Nicholas DeGasto, John Lithgow, Sherry Shepard, Jama Mays, and more. That show begins in early March. And finally, for broadcast, the CW gave out early renewals to every show, including Jane the Virgin and Crazy Ex-Girlfriend. That's good news for female-led shows, comedies, and TV in general. Plus, those are some good shows. Period. That was immature of me. On the cable front, Louis C.K. and Al Brooks' cartoon on FX is moving forward, actually to TBS. Last January, the show was developed as a pilot for FX, and now it's actually starting to move to a Turner-led channel. But FX Productions will still produce the series alongside co-producer Turner's Studio T. It's like a parent giving a kid to a step-parent rather than the other original parent and still staying around to help raise it. It also has a new title now, too, The Cops. Brooks and C.K. will star as 2 LA patrolmen who are not good at their jobs. TBS aims for the show to premiere in 2018. Speaking of Turner, True TV is starting a new scripted show from Amy Sedaris. The show is still untitled and has no real description. It'll feature Sedaris doing a variety talk show-like hybrid, and hospitality is a major component too, apparently. They also ordered pilot presentations for Smart, Funny, and Black from Amanda Seales and Apocalypse Video with Judah Friedlander. Seales' show is based on the live show of the same name that challenges writers and comedians to compete in games that would further their black knowledge. Friedlander's show is a found footage series that's America's Funniest Home Videos, but not really. They also announced premiere dates for Guy Branum's talk show The Game Show on April 5th and Andrea Savage's I'm Sorry on June 21st. Comedy Central has picked up TJ Miller's The Gore Burger Show that comes from the web series of the same name. It stars a giant Jabba the Hutt-like puppet voiced by Miller who interviews people. The show was made as a pilot for HBO in 2015, but Comedy Central picked it up when it proved too weird for even HBO. It is unknown if Gore Burger will fill in the 11:30 void left by Nightly Show. RIP. If you're a fan of TV Land, you're in luck. And old. The Aged Network already renewed Melissa McCarthy and husband Ben Falcone's new show Nobodies ahead of its premiere. That means it'll be back for season 2 next year. Plus, the two of them will appear on the show as horrible versions of themselves. The network also picked up the Heather's anthology series, if that's your thing. It should premiere this fall. And here's some rapid-fire headlines. History Channel has a Kevin Hart special. It follows a black man through history. Apparently, it's a comedy too. Showtime picked up Jamie Foxx's show White Famous starring Jay Farrow. It's about a black comedian who's getting so famous that white people are starting to like him. That sounds familiar. And IFC released a trailer for Brock Meyer starring Hank Azaria as a down-on-his-luck baseball announcer, and they doubled down on their news that Portlandia's Season 8 will be its last. And finally, the only streaming news is that Hulu's show Casual will be a lot funnier. The show is known to do black comedy, not Kevin Hart white people, and I mean dark humor and drama, so expect less dead puppies and dead dads. Alright, we did it. It's great. Okay, that's all the news I have for you for this week on C Plus News Time. Why don't you subscribe and check out one of our other videos? Of course, you can always head to the website cpluscomedy.com, where we've got the latest news, reviews, features, interviews, and other good comedy bits that only I can provide you with. You can follow us on Twitter at cpluscomedy. Follow me on Twitter at ChadBlackWhite. Like us on Facebook. Tumble with us on Tumblr. And be sure, if you're ever going to go to a meeting, don't let it end up like the movie Cedar Rapids, because it could not be a good time, but it could also be a really fun time and to remember things. Okay, we're done. Get out of here.